Hi, I'm Selena. At 27, I'm still living under my father's roof because, according to Richard, it's financially irresponsible to waste money on rent. What he really means is that he can't control what he can't see. Did you clean the kitchen like I asked? Richard stood in my doorway, arms crossed, inspecting my photography equipment spread across my bed. I was about to, right after I organized my gear for tomorrow's shoot. This hobby isn't paying bills, Selena. The kitchen needs cleaning now. It's not a hobby, Dad. It's my career. His eyes narrowed. A career pays the bills. This doesn't. I waited until he walked away before texting Jamie. Need to vent. Dad drama again. Coffee in 20. On my way. Bringing cookies and validation, Jamie replied. At the coffee shop, Jamie slid into the booth with a paper bag of chocolate chip cookies. You look like you've been Richarded again. Is it that obvious? Only to someone who's watched this show for 15 years. What happened this time? I explained about the kitchen and my photography equipment. You know, normal parents encourage their kids' dreams, Jamie said, breaking a cookie in half. Have you talked to Teresa about using her studio space? She offered, but Dad would lose it if I started working with Richard's ex-girlfriend. Teresa and your dad dated for like 2 seconds 20 years ago. She's been nothing but supportive of you. Unlike my actual stepmother. This morning, Karen suggested I take clerical courses instead of wasting time with pictures. Ah, yes, the dream team. Did Michael ever call you back? I shook my head. Michael got out 3 years ago and barely looks back. Smart move on his part. Your brother couldn't handle the guilt of leaving you behind. My phone buzzed with a text from Teresa. Got your portfolio to the gallery owner. She wants to meet tomorrow. Teresa came through. I showed Jamie the text. This could be my break. Later that evening, I was editing photos when Karen appeared in my doorway. Your father's upset about dishes in the sink. I cleaned everything after I got home. Well, he noticed water spots on the glasses. He says you're being deliberately careless. That's ridiculous. Also, Karen lowered her voice. He saw that email about the gallery meeting. My stomach dropped. How? He was helping with your computer yesterday. He's already called the gallery owner. He did what? He explained you're not professionally ready and it would damage your reputation to show unpolished work. I felt the blood drain from my face. He had no right. He's protecting you, Selena. Like always. I grabbed my phone and called Teresa. The gallery owner canceled, Teresa confirmed. Said your representative called to withdraw your submission. I'm so sorry, honey. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. 5 years of building my portfolio, gone because Richard decided I wasn't ready. Tomorrow, things would change. I was done being controlled. I barely slept. By 6 a.m., I was scrolling through my emails, looking for any responses from the photography studios I'd applied to. Nothing. 3 months of applications and not a single interview. Something wasn't adding up. I called the last studio I'd applied to. Westside Photography. Hi, this is Selena Miller. I submitted my portfolio last month and was wondering if you'd had a chance to review it. Oh, Selena. Yes. We tried to reach you for an interview, but your father said you'd accepted another position. My heart stopped. My father? Yes, Richard Miller. He was very apologetic, said you'd forgotten to withdraw your application. I thanked her and hung up, my hands shaking. I tried another studio, same story, and another. 5 studios, 5 times Richard had intercepted calls or emails. I stormed downstairs where Karen was making coffee. Did you know? Know what, dear? Her tone was sweet, but her eyes darted away. That Richard has been telling photography studios I'm not interested in jobs. Karen sighed, setting down her mug. Your father worries about you. These studios don't offer benefits or stability. So you did know. You've been helping him. I may have taken a few messages, but it's for your own good, Selena. For my own good? I'm 27. You have no right. As long as you live under this roof. That's exactly what he says. Do you practice these lines together? I grabbed my keys and drove straight to Teresa's studio. She'd been my mom's best friend before she died and had always encouraged my photography. I suspected something like this, Teresa said, handing me tea. Your father always needed control, even when he dated me briefly after your mom passed. But sabotaging job interviews? That's crossing a line. It's not the first line he's crossed. Teresa opened her laptop. Remember when you applied to that photography workshop in Chicago? The one that said my application was incomplete? Look at this. She showed me an email thread between Richard and the workshop coordinator. My father had written that I was emotionally unstable and not ready for professional criticism. He wouldn't, but the evidence was right there. A text from Jamie lit up my phone. Your brother's back in town, at your house now. I raced home to find Michael in the living room. It had been almost a year since I'd seen him. Selena, there's my little sis. He hugged me tight. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? Wanted to surprise you? Dad says you're still shooting pictures? Trying to make it my career, despite Richard's interference. Michael's smile faltered. Come on, he's just looking out for you. Photography's tough to make a living at. He's been calling studios pretending to be me, canceling interviews. Maybe he's just trying to protect you from disappointment. Are you serious right now? You escaped his control. You know how he is. Richard walked in, Karen hovering behind him. Michael understands what family means, Selena. Unlike you throwing accusations around. They're not accusations if they're true. You called Westside Photography and Summit Studios. And the Chicago workshop? You weren't ready, Richard said flatly. That wasn't your call to make. As long as you live in my house, then maybe I shouldn't live here anymore. Richard's face darkened. You can't survive out there. You think your little pictures will pay rent? Grow up, Selena. Michael, tell him. I turned to my brother. Michael looked between us, then down. Dad's kind of right, Selena. Maybe get something stable first, then do photography on the side. I couldn't believe it. My own brother. This ends now, Richard said. You will delete those studio applications, enroll in accounting courses like Karen suggested, and start acting like an adult. That's final. I will not delete anything or take accounting classes, I said, hands trembling. You don't get to control my life anymore. Richard stepped closer, towering over me. As long as you're under my roof, then I won't be under your roof. I'm done, Richard. You ungrateful little... He grabbed my portfolio from the coffee table and threw it across the room, photos scattering everywhere. This ends now. Your mother would be ashamed of this behavior. Don't you dare bring Mom into this. Karen stepped between us. Everyone just calm down. Selena, your father only wants what's best. He wants what's best for him. Control. That's all this has ever been about. Michael finally stood up. Dad, maybe you should... Stay out of this, Michael. Richard's face had turned crimson. He pointed at the door. If you don't like my rules, then leave. The room went silent. I looked at my scattered photographs, at Karen's smug expression, at Michael's shocked face. Fine, I will. I went to my room and grabbed the pre-packed emergency bag I'd prepared months ago. When I returned, Richard was pacing. This dramatic exit won't work. You'll be back in a week, begging for help. I stopped at the door. Before I go, you should know something. I've been recording your manipulations for the past 6 months. Every threatening conversation, every sabotaged opportunity, every financial control tactic. His face went pale. You're bluffing. Check my cloud account, the one you think you have the password to. I changed it last year. I turned to Michael. It's all there. If you ever wonder why I left, listen to them. I drove straight to Jamie's apartment, tears blurring the road. She opened the door before I could knock. Teresa called me. Get in here. She pulled me into a hug. Your room's already set up. The next morning, Teresa arrived with coffee and determination. Time to organize our evidence. Financial records first. We spent the day compiling everything. Recordings of Richard's threats, emails he'd sent impersonating me, bank statements showing how he'd managed my photography earnings for tax purposes. He's been skimming your earnings for years, Teresa said, showing me the discrepancies. My phone rang. Michael. I listened to the recordings, all of them. His voice was tight. I had no idea it was this bad. Dad always said you were exaggerating. Now you know. I do. And I found something else. Dad's been depositing your money into an account in his name. I have the statements. You're helping me? I should have helped years ago. I'm coming over with everything I found. When Michael arrived, he couldn't look me in the eye. I abandoned you, left you alone with him. You got out. I understand. Not anymore. I'm with you now, whatever you need. I need the truth exposed, I said, to everyone. 3 weeks later, the annual Miller family reunion gave me the perfect stage. Jamie helped me set up a slideshow while Teresa and Michael greeted arriving relatives. Are you ready for this? Jamie squeezed my hand. I've been ready for 10 years. Richard and Karen arrived, all smiles for the extended family. Richard froze when he spotted me. What are you doing here? This is family only. Last I checked, I'm still a Miller. I nodded to Michael, who clinked his glass for attention. Everyone, my sister has an important presentation about our family history. The slideshow began with photos of Mom, then me growing up, then screenshots of emails where Richard had impersonated me to cancel job interviews. For years, my father has systematically controlled my career, my finances, and my independence. Aunt Debbie gasped when the recording played, Richard's voice clearly threatening to destroy my camera equipment if I took a job offer. That's taken out of context, Richard sputtered. Uncle Frank stood up. Is this true, Richard? She's always been dramatic, just like her mother. Don't bring Mom into this, Michael snapped. I verified everything. Dad's been stealing Selena's photography earnings for years. I distributed copies of bank statements, showing transfers from my account to Richard's. Karen tried damage control. Richard was just protecting that money for Selena's future. Then why did you use it to renovate your bathroom? Michael countered. Aunt Debbie approached me. Your mother would be heartbroken. Richard, how could you? One by one, family members approached me with apologies for not seeing the truth sooner. Uncle Frank offered me a small business loan. Cousin Tiffany offered gallery space in her boutique. Richard stood alone, Karen having slipped away when the tide turned. 2 months later, I cut the ribbon on Selena Miller Photography. Teresa had co-signed my lease, and Michael helped renovate the space. My first exhibition featured portraits of survivors of family manipulation. The bell jingled as someone entered. Richard looking smaller somehow. Quite an accomplishment, he said, scanning the packed gallery. I always knew you had talent. What do you want? To apologize. I was wrong. I see that now. Now that everyone knows who you really are? Now that Aunt Debbie wrote you out of her will? Now that Karen's filing for divorce? I made mistakes, but I'm still your father. Biology doesn't make you a father. You were my jailer. Please, Selena. Everyone deserves a second chance. I gave you hundreds. You used each one to tighten your control. What can I do to make this right? Nothing. Some things can't be fixed. He reached for my arm. I stepped back. You need to leave. Selena, please. Jamie, would you escort him out? He was just leaving. 6 months later, my photography business was thriving. Michael had moved closer, rebuilding our relationship. Teresa had become a business mentor. Jamie remained my rock. Meanwhile, Richard had been excluded from family gatherings. His contracting business suffered after word spread about his controlling behavior. Karen had moved to Arizona with her sister. The last I heard, Richard was selling the house, too big and empty for one person. I sent back his Christmas card unopened. Sometimes forgiveness is overrated. Sometimes justice is enough. When is cutting ties with toxic family members the right choice? And when should you try to repair the relationship? Selena chose to reject her father's apology completely. Would you have done the same or given him another chance? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling stories about standing up to toxic people. New stories every day. Make sure you don't miss them by turning on notifications.